Sagittarius, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol, and this is going to be a general reading for you for June 2025. And we're going to be doing a spread called Moving Beyond Illusion this month. And you can see the dragonfly in the picture. It was something that was sent to me quite a while back by my daughter, and I didn't believe it. I thought it was fake. And so I told her to touch it, and she answered back, no, ooh. And I thought, oh, what is ooh? And what's associated with ooh, with a dragonfly? And it was all about around the illusion part of this, you know, thinking it was fake when it was actually real. And so I thought, you know, what is it about me that I'm meant to look at that's an illusion that's maybe not real? And so it kind of led to this reading. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to look at what false idea or belief you have about yourself that you need to become aware of. And then we're going to look at, you know, where is this coming from? What's driving this? So what shadow aspect is coming up for you right now to heal? And believe it or not, what's sitting in our unconscious is what is going to have the biggest impact on what this illusion is about yourself. And then we're going to look at how you can begin to heal the shadow aspect. I'm not going to leave you hanging. So the tarot will let you know what you can start to focus on so that you can move beyond this illusion that you have of yourself. And then I will also leave you with a playlist or video that I've done on my other channel called Carol Cares. And that's going to really help you. Sometimes they're like videos that will guide you or help you as well with what the tarot is recommending for you. So we're going to be using the Deviant Moon Tarot today. And I really feel that that is definitely a deck that is full of illusions, imaginations. So I thought it was a really good deck to use for this. I'm also going to be clarifying that using the Ehrenberg Tarot. And I'm going to pull an oracle card for you from the Return of Spirit. And it's going to be hidden until the end of the reading. So let's begin by asking Tarot for what false idea or belief does Sagittarius need to become aware of right now in the month of June? So you have the Page of Wands in reverse. And what shadow aspect is driving or impacting this illusion here? One card for that. You have two cards here. You have the Four of Wands in reverse, and you have the World card in reverse. And how can Sagittarius begin to heal the shadow aspect in order for them to move on beyond this illusion? Just one card. One card for Sagittarius. Moving, oh, okay. I think I have two cards here. So you have the Knight of Wands and the High Priestess in reverse. All right, so let's get some clarifiers for these. So I have a couple clarifiers for the Page of Wands. Thought that was two. One more card. There it is. Okay. All right. You have the Six of Wands in reverse, and you have the Three of Pentacles. Let's been a bit since I've used this deck, so I'll have to look at it. Okay, I think I'm going to need 1 to 2 clarifiers here. Probably just one, but we'll see what comes out. Oh, that was originally like that, so I knocked it over. So yeah, you have the Six of Swords in reverse, and the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Nope, Knight of Pentacles upright, sorry, and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, how about the Knight of Wands and the High Priestess right here? Tell me more about those cards. Oh, you're getting a lot of cards today. So you have the Justice in reverse, the Three of Swords in reverse, and the Temperance card. All right. Let's pull for you an oracle card for the end. These have been working out really well for me for this reading. They've just been right on every time. Oh, sorry, I was going to tell you what it was, and I went, no, I can't tell you. It's a secret. All right, so let's begin with the false idea or belief that you have about yourself that you need to become aware of. And you have the Page of Wands, and the pages in my deck are inner children. And we can have more than one inner child. In particular, this is the Page of Wands, so, and it's blocked right now because it's in reverse. But the Page of Wands is very interesting. This particular Page of Wands is on stilts. And it looks like it's a nice icy platform. So it's quite a precarious situation that they're in right now. The Wands speak about something creative, putting ourselves first, doing something that we've never done before, maybe for ourselves. You know, sometimes it can be real wild and crazy ideas, and people kind of look at us and go like, what are you doing? But that's what I mean by creativity. And because it's an inner child, I think there's a part of you when you were younger, 4, 5, 6 years old, that you were quite creative. And you might not know that about yourself, but you kind of knew what direction you were meant to go in. And oftentimes when pages they're blocked, it means it's almost like they're tugging at your pant leg and they're saying, listen, I need healing. Because our inner children need to be heard, they need to be listened to, and we need to heal them. And we need to feel their big emotions. And so if you were younger and there was something you wanted to do or you dreamed about doing, and oftentimes we don't even know what it was. You might know. But, if we were told that we couldn't, or discouraged, or whatever it was, we can hold some big emotions around that, right? Think of a young child, being told that they can't. There's a lot of grief there. Could be some anger, some real hopelessness, feeling like they don't matter. And so I think there's a part of you that you need to realize that needs to be healed. And you have the Six of Wands right below it. And the Six of Wands, first of all, the number 6 in my deck always has a duality to it. And so that means that on one, the card's going to show you something, but you need to look at what the opposite of that is. And so this is in reverse, and it doesn't surprise me because of what the Six of Wands means for me. Because this inner child here is holding this particular emotion. And in an upright position, this individual has a victory wreath on, and it's something that's coming back from a battle. And I like this deck because it takes a snapshot of the Rider-Waite deck, and this takes a snapshot of the individual coming back from battle with the victory wreath on their head and on the wand. And so it looks like this is a victory card, right? A real win. But the other side to this is a real loss. And so this card is my card in the deck. It's about grief. And if there's any emotion that's going to really, like, we need to get through, and all the emotions that we feel, the one emotion that is almost like it's the final emotion that just clears out everything and it makes room for new things to come in is grief. And so I'm seeing here that you have a lot of grief. You have an inner child that needs healing, and it's holding a lot of your grief around this creative part of you when you were younger. And the last card that comes in is the Three of Pentacles. And the Three of Pentacles, first of all, it's the number 3, and the 3 is a creation card, creating together, a co-creative card. And the Pentacles is, in this particular card, you can see that it looks like this individual is, putting their mind, these people putting their minds together to come up with something. But because this is a healing channel, I see this card as Three of Pentacles for me is a therapy card. It's a card that comes up when it says, do you need to go back into therapy? Do you need therapy? Or maybe, maybe you need to change therapists, but it's something around therapy, or maybe you need to look into like a different modality. I know my own, in my own journey, my own intensive healing journey I'm on, I do have a life coach, a trauma life coach, and I also did a lot of energy work, body work years, in the beginning for about 2.5 years, like solid of energy work, and things like Reiki or myofascial release, or craniosacral was my big one that really helped me a lot. And so I think that you maybe could be someone that says, I got it all under control. So the belief that, maybe the false belief that everything is okay, I'm okay. But what's happening is like underneath that okay is this younger part of you that needs healing, and there's a heck of a lot of grief that needs to come out. And so you're blocking this grief. And so I think what needs to be looked at here in your shadow, we're gonna look at your shadow right now, and what's driving this. Like, what's your tendency? Why are you blocking this grief? Like, why are you blocking this big emotion that is so healing for you? And maybe you're blocking the whole thing about, I don't want to touch therapy, or I don't want to go, I don't know what it is with you. It's a general reading, but this whole thing about healing and healing the inner child, or maybe you don't believe there's such a thing as inner parts or inner children, or it's like I said, it's general reading. So what is that? Like, where's that coming from? So let's look at, we start off with the Four of Wands, first of all, and it's clarified by the World card in reverse. The Four of Wands speaks about these two individuals you can see, and it's almost like I see this as a spaceship in the background, right? Like maybe they're wanting to go there, or maybe they just got off there. Often cards, this can become a marriage card. But for me, it always, especially because it's sitting in your shadow, this card speaks of a real controlling relationship, a real controlling environment. And because it's your shadow, I want to say that you came from a very controlling environment. And the fact that it's in reverse tells me that, it was extremely controlling. And to the point where, you know, maybe you couldn't even breathe or you weren't even allowed to. And so let's look at, you know, a little bit, let's delve into that and see, you know, how controlling it was and what it has to do with your emotions. And oftentimes we can be with parents or caretakers that actually, you know, definitely will try to feel for us and tell us how to feel and tell us not to feel and when to feel, because there's some real closure that needs to take place here. It's in reverse. This is the last card of the major arcane. It kind of brings everything together. Closure is very important, because when one cycle ends, something else comes in, and that's, you know, that's that emotion of grief. And when you grieve finally what you have lost, well, it brings something in for us. It makes room for something else. And so there's some real closure that needs to take place around this real controlling environment that you had. And you know, maybe you yourself, that's why you're trying to control this emotion or whatever it is that's coming up for you right now. But in it, you know, this is the Six of Swords. That's clarifying this whole controlling environment when you were younger, and this tells me everything about you. This card in an upright position talks about this this woman and this child that are being taken away. You can see the waters, see the peaceful waters in the background. They're being taken somewhere to peaceful waters, and they come from some real stormy, wavy waters, and they're going to a safer place. This card is really my safety card. And in order to do any healing, especially the deep, deep healing that a lot of us need, we need to be in a safe environment. And this tells me that when you were younger, you were not in a safe environment to be able to take out your emotions, to be able to feel your emotions. You have the Knight of Pentacles right here. And the Knight is a part of us. It's an adolescent part of us that is fighting. Think of an adolescent. They want two things. They want freedom and they want to be themselves. And this is the part of you that's sitting here that all your life, and it's buried here in your shadow, it has been fighting to try to, you know, get you to go to your authentic self, to try from freedom from control. The Knight of Pentacles wants freedom from control, wants to be able to do what they want to do. And I think when you were younger, there was a part of you that wanted that freedom. And we can become really depressed, and we can hold a lot of ungrounded anger at these people that controlled us when we were younger. And the Queen of Pentacles comes out as the last card in your shadow. The Queen is the feminine side to us. We all have a feminine and a masculine side. It has nothing to do with gender. But this Queen is the Queen that is very, very grounded in her body. She's not afraid to feel her emotions. And when we are in our body when we're younger, or even as an adult, that's where we can feel our emotions. If we are up in our head, we don't feel our emotions because we're very much controlled by our ego self. And so I think here that because this Queen is buried here, when you were younger, you were not allowed to be in your body because you were not allowed to feel. It wasn't a safe place for you when you're younger. So when we are younger and we cannot, if we're not in a safe place and we know we can't feel our emotions, we've tried maybe and we've been warned and shown that, you know, we're not allowed to take out our emotions, our ego self will very much take us up in our heads. And because if we stay in our heads with our ego, there's no emotions there, so we don't have to feel, and that's a safe place, and that's where our ego likes to keep us. And so right now you're being asked to heal this part of you that's holding this grief, holding this big emotion that needs to be expressed, that this child needs to heal, this inner child. And you are being taken back to the time when you were younger, and this is how it works. It's like a pattern here. And you're being asked to feel this, but you're being triggered by, oh my God, I can't feel. I was told when I was younger that I wasn't allowed to feel. I wasn't in a safe place to feel. I don't know if you're in a safe place right now. And maybe that's something you need to ask yourself. Are you in a safe place right now? Because oftentimes if we weren't in a safe place when we were younger, we can repeat that pattern and not be in a safe place. And so it's very important for you, because you need healing, you need to get some help, and maybe you need help so you can get back in that safe place so that you can feel. And so how can you begin to heal the shadow aspect, and in order to move on? Well, you have the Knight of Wands, and in here you had the Knight of Pentacles in here, and here's that freedom fighter I talked about, that part of you, the Knight. That's what I call them, my freedom fighters. I'm not sure if I mentioned it already, but this one has the wand. And so here's this part of you that's just dying to move towards that creative part of you that I said was kind of buried here, going towards your purpose, you know, what you came here to be. And so I think and you could be dealing with some real depression, and you could be dealing with some ungrounded anger, because behind both of those, usually we have a tendency to go towards one or the other. I know myself, I go towards the hopelessness, depression, rather than the anger, because I wasn't allowed to touch my anger. And so this could be one of the things that you are dealing with right now, and that you need to, that's what the tarot wants you to focus on right now. Okay, is it some repressed anger that you need to get at, ungrounded, or is it the hopelessness that you need to get at? And then you get this High Priestess that's buried. So the universe definitely wants you to get back in your body. I can feel that, because this is coming up right now. The High Priestess she's blocked right now because she's in reverse. But the High Priestess is a big card in the Major Arcana. She represents the first half of the feminine energy, the feminine side to us that has these beautiful feminine qualities. We talked about it with the Queen. And she represents our inner guidance, our intuition. That's what the High Priestess is. Now, our intuition is our inner knowing. It's just that gut feeling that we have about things. In order to get to that, in order to access our intuition, we have to be in our body. We can't access our intuition from up here. And so many of us try to access it from up here and wonder why we can't, because we have to be in our body, and we have to be grounded. And so I think there's a real need for you to get grounded so that you can get in touch with your inner guidance, because that's going to help you. When you can get in touch with your inner guidance, that's your inner knowing. You know, our intuition is this whisper. It's not loud, it's not desperate, but it's a whisper that will keep coming back. And it's going to tell you what your next step is. Because I think there's some real justice here that needs to come to this situation, right? Right now, it's in reverse, but you need to bring justice to this. And I think it's more a balance. You need to bring like this balance to your life. I think that's been out of balance for too long now. Three of Swords comes up next, and here's the pain. Here's the pain that you've been holding on for too long. Again, it's in reverse, because you've been pushing it down, you've been ignoring it, you've been not wanting to deal with this grief. And believe it or not, all that pushing down we do, all that avoiding that we do, that is what causes the most pain in our life, is when we defend these emotions, the grief that wants to come forward. And finally, there's the Temperance card that comes in at the end. And the Temperance card comes in as a card to say, you know, this is a process, this journey. It takes time. And you know, this, see how they're just pouring it slowly, the water here. Water is all about our emotions. And the Temperance card is just asking you to dip your toe just a little bit. And you know, a little bit at a time. I mean, the first thing here is for you to get grounded. And you may need some help for that. Maybe, you know, whatever this therapy card meant for you over here, I don't know. But there's definitely some healing that needs to be done around your inner child. Healing has to be done around grieving. There's something here coming up for you. Some real pain here. And so I'm going to give you a playlist on grounding so that you can get back. Learn how to ground yourself and learn how to feel. Learn how to get back in your body so you can get in touch with your intuition and feel that grief that needs to come up. As a card for you, your oracle card, you got commitment. So let's take a look at what that means for you this month and how that relates to this reading for you. Commitment. You're being asked to make some sort of a commitment. This could be, it's both a promise and a responsibility. This could be in connection with a relationship, such as moving in together, deciding to get married, or having a child. The commitment card can also point to other types of commitments, such as starting a new business, planning a vacation with friends, signing up for classes, or taking any type of long-term commitment. I'm wondering if this is referring to the therapy card, you know. This commitment is a binding one, and you will not be able to get out of it easily should you change your mind later. This is signified by the bow-like symbol in the fractal image on the card. Whatever the case may be, this commitment does hold soul lessons and was planned before you came here. This does not mean that it's either good or bad, but simply means that this is a fated event. You and the others involved in the situation are fulfilling your soul agreements with each other. This card can also be calling you to make a serious commitment to yourself. Whether it's to lose weight, quit smoking, start a yoga class, or go for some healing sessions. There you go, there's the therapy. You may also need to reassess any previous commitments you have made to discern whether they are still right for you. So you may be wavering in your decision about a certain commitment. Lean towards the idea that this might actually be the right thing for you to do. This card can act as a validation that you are heading in the right direction. And I find that that's why this High Priestess card came up for you. This intuition card, your inner guidance. Because that's once you get in touch, once you get grounded and get in touch with your intuition. And that's going to tell you what your next step is going to be, right? Right now you're sitting here and you're like, what do I do? What do I do with all of this, right? You know that there's some healing that needs to take place. And so I think the first step is to get grounded and then get in touch with your intuition. And then it's going to tell you, you know, you're going to know what the next step's going to be. And you might even be able to get in touch with that grief when you get grounded and, you know, do some real heavy grieving. And then you'll definitely know. It's going to make room for what's coming in new for you. So Sagittarius, I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through. This is the most difficult journey of your life, but it's the most important one. So take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.